Hello everyone! Today I'm going to be talking you through how I tooled the leather for my Triss bodice. It looks quite complicated, but once you learn the basics, it's actually very straightforward, and it doesn't even take that many specialist tools to get started and get a good result. So let's start with what you're going to need. Firstly, this method requires real, undyed veg tan leather. It sadly doesn't work on any sort of synthetic material. I also have a spray bottle filled with water and a sponge for spreading it evenly across the surface I'm working on. You'll also need some tracing paper and a pen implement for transferring your pattern outline onto the leather piece. Line making tools like a swivel knife or even simply a stylus or a kitchen knife. Also a mallet, or in my case a hammer, and a set of stamps. I work primarily with 3 stamps. This semicircular mulefoot stamp, a cross-hatching background stamp, and a pear-shaped shader stamp, but I also have a small stash of extras in case I need them. Let's get started. I've already drawn up the pattern that I want to transfer onto the leather on tracing paper. I then wet the leather all over, which makes it much easier to mark make on the surface. I then tape my pieces down with masking tape, just to secure them while I work. I try to resist the urge to check how it's going. I find I can never get it back in the same spot. By drawing over the tracing paper and putting a small amount of pressure on the leather, a mark is left behind underneath. You might have seen that I put down an extra sheet of paper. This is simply because I use a coloured pen to make sure that I know where I've been. It would be nightmarish if the paper broke and I got red pen on the leather. If you're using a coloured pen too, make sure that you check your hand occasionally. You don't want to smudge any ink, and that's another reason why I work pretty religiously from right to left, as you can see that I'm right-handed. Once you're finished, remove the masking tape. You can then peel up the paper to reveal the line work left behind underneath. Now we can get started on the stamping and bringing this pattern to life. This is the bit that really takes some time, so make sure to put on a long podcast or get a series to binge, because we're in this for the long haul. First we have to wet our area again. It gives a clearer and easier stamp. I use the cross-hatching stamp in the background of my design, first marking out the edges and then filling in the centre. The most important thing when stamping is just to check that you're lined up to your design before you hit it. I then like to go around and define the edges with a stylus, just to give the design a bit more sharpness. And if your leather starts to dry off a little, don't be afraid to top up on water. The shading tool is great for adding some details. I use it a lot to add depth in the floral areas and the leaves, as it leaves quite a soft mark behind it. When decorating the leaves and swirls, it's all about figuring out the effects and details you like, so I would recommend trying out all these tools on scraps first. Once you get the feel for it, you'll really find that you get into the flow. I hope that this was helpful for anyone who wants to tackle this or any other leather making project. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will try my best to answer. As always, thank you for watching and happy crafting!